I mean, this is horrible stuff. You think I enjoy thinking about this? I don't. I mean, I lay awake at night now saying I think I'm living in a mad world. Every day this man shocks me as to not only the madness of his policies, because I've heard all this crap before. I went to university. I earned a PhD. I was around these schmucks. I know how they talk. I knew who they were. I knew many of these putzes. None of them ever ran nothing. They never did anything. All they did was go to their same faculty parties, and they talked no nukes this and that, no nuke. They didn't know what the hell they were talking about. They never earned a dime in their life. They never produced a product, nothing. They never wrote a book anybody bought. Published by academic presses that nobody bought. Their friends were on the boards, the editorial boards of the academic presses that thought they were authors because they wrote a stupid book, a left-wing book that they forced their students to buy. I know these schmucks. Guess what? They're running America now. So now they're trying out all their training wheel ideas. Now let's see, we got socialized medicine, just like Brother Castro. Let's push through. No nukes, no nukes, no nukes. Can we do that? Can we do it, Barry? Sure. Let's do that too. What's next? What's next, Barry? Shock America tomorrow with another far-left lunatic plan, because there is no opposition party, Barry. As you well know, you've destroyed the Republican Party because it never existed. What you actually did, Barry, was show us that there is no opposition. What you actually did, Barry, was show us that the only opposition is coming from the American people themselves. But you and your friends in the media are trying to turn the Tea Parties into Nazis, aren't you? You have the audacity, you un-American left-wing bastards, to say that the actual Americans are the enemies of the country. You bastards, all of you. You left-wing slime. You are the enemies of this country. We are the patriots, you bastards, you Mandarin bastards. You are the enemies of this country. There's 400 of you. 400 of you bastards are trying to say that we're the enemies because we believe in the Constitution. You swine, you. I'll stop here.
Savage.
You know, there's certain things happen in life that are pretty astonishing. At the same time that the interloper from Hawaii or Indonesia, and he says I love during the ball game, he says, I'm just a kid from the south side of Chicago. I just love it. The man makes himself up as he goes along. At the same time that the interloper is destroying our nuclear arsenal, the man who armed the atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima died today. It's astonishing to me. Morris Dick Jepson dies at 87. Weapons specialist armed the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. On August 6, 1945, Jepson and another man armed the bomb called Little Boy aboard the B-29 Superfortress Enola Gay. The bombing is credited with bringing an early end to World War II, which is certainly true. Many of you listening to the show would not be here today because your fathers or grandfathers probably would have died in fighting in Japan. The estimate was between 500,000 and 1 million American men would have died fighting to the bitter end because the Japanese were arming even the old ladies with bamboo sticks to kill Americans should they invade the home islands. You don't know any of that because you've read revisionist history. But nevertheless, this hero died today, the very day, almost within a day, that Obama is destroying our nuclear stockpile. Look how the country has fallen so rapidly. Take a look at Morris Dick Jepson, one of America's great heroes, aboard the Enola Gay, died at 87. Jepson, a retired scientist and businessman, died March 30th, a few days ago, of complications related to old age at Summerlin Hospital Medical Center in Las Vegas, said his wife, Molly. The historic combat mission on August 6, 1945 was the only one Jepson ever flew. Worried about his family's safety, you see the world he lives in? He remained silent for decades about his role in the attack that killed 80,000 people, leveled two-thirds of a Japanese city, and ignited controversy for having unleashed atomic power as a weapon. The mission is credited with helping to bring an early end to the war. 3 days after the bombing of Hiroshima, another B-29 dropped an atomic bomb on Nagasaki, prompting the Japanese surrender. What you don't know is the Japanese were not going to surrender because the Japanese military was raised in the code of Bushido, which is to never, ever quit. Never, never quit. And as a result of their militancy, this is why it happened. Navigator Theodore Dutch Van Kirk, 89, the only surviving member of the 12-man Enola Gay crew, told the Times that Jepson was, quote, quiet, efficient, and businesslike during the mission. He wasn't the type of guy to blow his own horn. At the time, Jepson was 23 years old. Can you imagine? 23 years old. Second lieutenant when he was chosen to climb into the bomb bay on a coin toss. With him was weaponeer Navy Captain William Deke Parsons. Together they began arming the bomb with Jepsen acting as assistant handing over tools. They did that very early in the mission in the first half hour, said Dick Dasso, curator of modern military aircraft at the Smithsonian. After that, they had to come inside the cabin because the bomb bay wasn't pressurized. A few hours later, Jepsen made a final visit to the bay to change out 3 green safety plugs, each the size of a salt shaker, for the red plugs that armed the nuclear weapon. He made his way to the cockpit, and he told the plane's pilot, Colonel Paul W. Tibbets, Jr., that the bomb-core little boy was set to go. Once Jepsen felt the B-29 jerk up, he knew the bomb had been dropped. People were looking down and seeing this enormous cloud coming up and the destruction spreading, Jepsen told Time magazine in 2005. And that's the point that it's somber, because you know a lot of people are getting destroyed down there in that city. After the 12-hour flight, the plane returned to Tinian Island in the Pacific, where Jepsen was unexpectedly greeted by a good friend who was a Navy lieutenant. They were sharing dinner when a Navy officer asked Jepsen, "What did you do today?" "I think we ended the war today," he said. Morris Richard Jepsen was born June 23, 1922 in Logan, Utah, one of 3 sons of Robert and Elsie Jepsen. While he was growing up in Carson City, Nevada, his father worked in agricultural education for the state. At age 19, Jepsen joined the military and was part of a group that spent 10 months studying engineering and radar at Yale and Harvard universities and MIT. This was before they took lunatics and put them into Yale and Harvard, who now teach ethnic studies. No, in those days, he went to the real Yale, the real Harvard, the real MIT, before they introduced courses that were worthless garbage. And so at 19, he goes there and he spends 10 months studying engineering and radar, not ethnic studies. With several others, he was assigned to remote Wendover, Utah, in the 509th Composite Group. It was the first military unit formed to wage nuclear war. Now listen to this. After the war, this war hero, Jepsen, studied toward a doctorate in physics at UC Berkeley, my alma mater, working at its radiation lab in Lawrence Livermore Laboratory. He founded a number of companies, unlike Obama, who founded nothing. This man founded a number of companies, including Applied Radiation Corp., which built electron beam accelerators for nuclear physics research, and Cryodry Corp., a maker of industrial microwave ovens. See, he produced things. Destruction on one hand that ended the war, and technology that advanced civilization, unlike Obama, who's given the world nothing. A longtime resident of Carmel, California, retired to Las Vegas 20 years ago. In addition to Molly, his wife of 48 years, Jepsen is survived by a brother, 4 daughters, 2 sons, 11 grandchildren, and 10 great-grandchildren. He died, as I said, on March 30th, so that's within a week of Obama dismantling America's nuclear arsenal. I don't know, sometimes life imitates art imitates life, or things come together in a confluence that is astonishing. It's like the end of an era, the end of not of a generation, the end of a sane, strong, proud nation. It's fallen into insanity and disrepair. And Obama is actually the symptom, not the cause. Obama is the symptom of the insanity. Obama is the symptom of the decay. Obama is the symptom of the disrespect that the people have for this country. Obama is the symptom of all the negatives that so many of the people of the United States of America hold for this great nation. Obama is not the problem. Obama is the symptom of the disease that has metastasized. It started first in the universities, and now it has spread throughout the entire country. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the question is, how does this end? How does this end when we have a radical Marxist American as president who has never held a job, who has never produced a product, who has never done anything but push papers and have long, long, long talks at night in frat houses with his friends, and now they're pushing forward every radical left-wing plan ever talked about in universities?